Extreme weather is also posing a new threat to earthquake victims in New Zealand, with a major storm forecast to hit tomorrow. Dozens of aftershocks have rattled the city of Christchurch, further shaking the nerves of frightened residents. 7's Robert Avadia is there. Rob, how are people coping?
Well, Chris, some of those aftershocks have been up to 5.4 in magnitude, and I can tell you firsthand it is quite a harrowing experience to go through. The good news here today, at the very least, is that power has been restored to almost every property. The bad news, though, is that ferocious storm expected tomorrow, and there are fears it could devastate further this city. After the initial shock and then the aftershocks of New Zealand's most devastating earthquake in 80 years, people here are working out where to start. There is so much to do.
There's not a single person, there's not a single family, there's not a single household in this city that hasn't lost something. The blessing is they haven't lost someone. Business after business. Hardship after hardship.
Got 30 staff that need to be kept informed and kept employed.
At least 500 buildings will have to be demolished. Nearly 100 in the city have already been condemned, and it's expected 100,000 people will make insurance claims. Kevin Riley is one of them. How safe do you feel stepping in there?
Oh, well, it's not safe. It could fall over any minute.
His restaurant and neighbouring home north of Christchurch lurched wildly towards the Waimakariri River when the quake hit.
It's obviously come away with the rolling impact of the earthquake, so it's devastating.
So it's basically pulled the restaurant right away from land?
Right away from the land, yeah.
Kevin and his wife Debbie are moving in with friends. Many other families are doing the same, and evacuation centres are filling up with residents who can't or won't stay in their own home. On one street at Kaiapoi, north of Christchurch, almost every house will be demolished. The city centre remains a ghost town, with the exception of structural engineers deciding what buildings can be allowed to stand and what can't. Many of the city's famous historic churches won't make the cut.
Some of them have been pretty badly damaged. Fortunately, the cathedral in the square, which of course is the city's icon, is okay, because 10 years ago the City Council earthquake strengthened it.
The frozen Victoria Street clock tower marks the time the quake hit. Even for shops that can open, there's nobody to run them.
Given that the early estimates are at least $2 billion and maybe more, then there'll be a fairly hefty price tag to pick up.
Beyond the CBD, here at New Brighton in the city's eastern suburbs, the quake was at its strongest. This image certainly speaks for itself. Early yesterday morning, a torrent of liquid came rushing up from out of here. Authorities found it was a mixture of water and sewage. That's a big problem right across Christchurch. There are fears water is contaminated. Residents have been told to boil it before drinking, and finding bottled water in a supermarket is hard. The army is bringing in supplies from Wellington, the city used to earthquakes. Otherwise, people are simply taking care of themselves. The start of the working week will be very challenging here tomorrow. All public buildings will be closed until at least Wednesday, so that means government offices and even schools will not be operating until engineers give it the all clear. Chris.
All right, Robert Avadia live in Christchurch. Many thanks.